My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. Will GTA 6 release this year? Will the Switch 2 be anything more than a slight improvement over the original? Will Silksong ever actually release? On this episode, we're going to talk about some of the greatest gaming mysteries for 2025 to remind you about a few games we're all still wondering about. But first, some introductions are in order. I am your host, Josh, and joining me, he's probably mad at me for saying Silksong again, but I don't even care. Silksong, Silksong, Silksong. It's Ryan.
I was not even thinking about that. The first time you said it, I was like, dude, he said it again in my head.
I knew you were. That's why I wrote it into the intro.
You can't. That's like, it's like another so many years every single time.
I don't even care anymore, Ryan.
We're never going to get it. I just accepted it.
Just to the point, I don't even care. Silksong!
Yeah.
Silksong!
You know what? Silksong! Silksong!
Yeah, say it with me! Silksong! We don't want your dumb sequel.
Yeah, we don't want it. We don't want it anyway.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't release it in 2025.
No, release it just before Halloween, like I predicted, please.
Yeah, that would be a sweet prediction come true, man. So, well, thank you everybody for joining us for another episode. This one's going to be a fun one. We are going to talk about some of the great mysteries of 2025. These are games that people have forgotten about, games that have release dates in 2025, but no confirmed actual date. Yeah. We don't know if they're coming out this year or not, but if they do,
ooh, baby,
it's probably going to change the course of 2025 in a lot of people's minds for, how this year is viewed as a whole in gaming. So these games are no slouches, but also they might actually be games that you forgot about as well. So that's kind of why we wanted to do this episode, is to put them back on your radar. We're going to check our hype meters. When we talk about these, we'll actually talk about if we know the kind of late 2025, early, probably not 2025, but maybe.
Maybe.
And so all that. So this is going to be a really fun gaming-filled episode that may put some games back on your radar. And if nothing else, it's going to be super fun to just kind of get excited about these all over again. And kind of like I said, where our hype meters are at and stuff like that. But Ryan, before we get into that,
what are we doing?
We love thanking people, man.
Oh, it's our favorite pastime.
And why would we thank somebody at the top of an episode, Ryan?
Gosh, I don't know. Maybe if they were just a kind, gentle soul that wanted to, maybe leave us a review.
That is one way that we do thank people. And we are going to read a review here in just a second. But also, we
is there
want to
more?
thank the people that make this podcast possible, Ryan.
Oh, okay. What way can they do that?
They can head over to multiplayersquad.com and sign up for a pittance, a copper piece, if you will, a shilling, perhaps. As little, I don't know what any of those things are worth, but as little as $5 a month, you can sign up to support this podcast. It keeps this show going. It keeps the gaming fun and the gaming chat brought to the planet. Some say it improves the world.
Some,
maybe it's us that say that, but there's probably some truth.
We don't
to
have
that
to specify.
Well.
We don't have to specify.
Yeah.
Just some people say it.
Yeah, exactly. But we did have a new person sign up with rare status, and a huge thank you to Style and Steve.
Yeah, Steve,
for signing up. Style and Steve, also one of the amazing people on our Discord server that has been having a lot of fun and conversating with everybody. It is a fantastic community, dude. I love the fact that people are like actually trusting us and saying, fine, let me check out your stupid Discord server.
They're finally listening. They're finally listening. Discord's bumping, man.
It is hopping, man. And it's so cool to see. I know we mention it all the time, but there is a reason for that, because we have people hop in and they're like, dude, this place is awesome, man. Like, these are actual gamers. They're not toxic. Like, this place doesn't suck. I can actually talk about games I love or upcoming releases, or, hey, I need some people to play Marvel Rivals with. And, oh, cool, I just found 3 or 4 people that all want to jump in. Even though I'm a complete noob to the game, here's other gamers that are wanting to jump in and just play and have fun together. So it is awesome. But thank you, Style and Steve, for signing up for Rare Status. And again, if you want to support the show, you can do that over at multiplayersquad.com. And Ryan, you mentioned a review.
Yes.
Look, we get it. Not everybody has the means, the desire, whatever, to say, hey, I'm going to give you crazy weird guys money. But you know what? I do have fun with this show, and let me leave you a review. And if you write us a review, there's a good chance that we might read it on the show. Like this one that comes in from Saucy Soy that's titled Best Podcast. And it's short and sweet. It says, I just bought a PC and wanted to know some games that could be fun. Paul, Josh, and Ryan are amazing hosts and help me get into many games such as Marvel Rivals and Helldivers 2.
Oh, dude, what more could you ask for?
Is that not like 2 awesome games that are just pure dumb fun to play?
Just nothing.
That's another perk of the Discord server, man, is like, hey, anybody played this game, got thoughts on it? And you'll get a dozen answers from people that have played it. And they're like, oh yeah, that one's totally worth it. Or no, stay away. It sucked. You know? So
everybody's got their opinion, but it's always very informed on the Discord, which is cool.
Exactly. So, all right, Ryan. So for this episode, I mean, I kind of touched on it, but we're going to talk about these games. I do want to check our hype levels as well, because it's been a while. We have actually talked about every single one of these games at some point on this podcast.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a little bit of a review, or like a, hey, don't forget about this. But I am very curious, because we haven't talked about them in a little while, to also check that hype meter. So this is going to be fun. But let's just dive into it. The first game, and this honestly might be the first game that does release in 2025.
Okay.
That is just a tiny little title that almost came. It did come up at the end of our most anticipated games episode, but it was not drafted by anybody. And that is a game by the name of Judas.
Oh, yes.
Okay, when we first saw the trailer for Judas, it was the next game by Ken Levine, the director or creator of BioShock. Everybody knows BioShock. Oh my goodness, what a franchise.
And if you don't, go play it. It still holds up to this day. You can even get it on your Switch. Go play BioShock 1. It's my favorite. Infinite's great. They're fantastic, so go play.
They're insanely memorable games.
Yes.
You don't forget playing BioShock.
Yes.
And so we get this trailer for Judas that everybody is calling BioShock in space, right? BioShock goes to the ocean. It goes up to the clouds. Where can it go from here? Well, outer space is always a good setting. And it's made by Ken Levine. So we kind of lost our minds on this, but there was very little information about Judas for a while. We were kind of hoping that it was going to get released in 2024. That didn't happen. And now it is set for March 2025 release.
Set.
Do you believe that?
Set being the key word.
Do you believe? I mean, March is not that far away.
It is not, which is crazy to think. We're already, almost halfway through January. And March is only a couple months away.
And I feel like if this game, if Judas, which is a insanely big name title, was going to release in less than 2 months, like, I feel like we'd be getting those teaser drips, those little snippets of gameplay, the hands-on previews, something to get this hype meter rolling. Like, get on the hype train, people. And so, do you think it's going to come out in March?
I would say the for the betting term, the sharp money would not be on March. is what I would say. Yeah.
As much as I really, really want to get my hands on this game, I'm not sure it's releasing in March. Yeah. Now, I will say we did get an actual gameplay preview where we got a breakdown, and this happened. I want to say this happened like a couple months ago, maybe 3-4 months ago, somewhere around there. But we actually did get some Judas news. All of a sudden, we were like, "Whoa! Like, there's a gameplay trailer." Like, we actually get to see some of this stuff. There was a big interview with Ken Levine about the game. But they did show off some actual gameplay and kind of, some of the stuff that this game is going to be about. Were you impressed by the gameplay? Did this catch your eye? Did it get you hyped?
It did. I want to play it. I'm like, I'm ready. I want to play that kind of BioShock feeling game again. I want to have that gritty, dark nature with just kind of a cool environment. And the gameplay looked awesome. The features looked cool. The story, the voice acting, everything about it is what I like. And I want it now, or I want a realistic timeline on hey, when are we really going to get this? Like, when can I expect to actually play this game? Because a lot of these, we were going over names of games that, were expected and we weren't sure about. And, a lot of these, like you said, 3-4 months ago, we got some info on it. Like, that's kind of a long time in the tech world or video game world to get, normally you got stuff every couple weeks. You get that drip to get people hyped and ready. And we just haven't been getting that with this. And so I honestly forgot about this game. But I'm so excited for it, which is such a weird thing to say. But yeah, I want it, and I want more content, and I want to be hyped for it. All they got to do is just give me a little bit. Give me that drip, and I'll be ready.
And that's kind of one of the things that worries me about a March release is normally by now we would have that drip, and we're not getting it. For sure. And so I do think this game is going to release in 2025. Like, I am actually going to plant my flag and say I do believe that this game will come out. It might be second half or even late 2025, but I'm pretty sure I would say I probably have more confidence in this game than a lot of the other games that we're going to talk about actually releasing this year. But if you have not checked out Judas and seen some of the trailers and the gameplay for it, you need to do that, number one, because this game looks fantastic. This is absolutely a spiritual successor to the BioShock franchise. I don't know if there's licensing issues or what's going on with not being able to call this just BioShock 4, but this game looks fantastic. The gameplay kind of preview that we did get to see a few months ago really, really looked good. And so my hype meter on Judas is currently kind of like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Like, I'm definitely excited for it, but I just don't know that we've seen enough for it to kind of push it into that I'm going to talk about it every episode type hype level that some people know I get to.
Well, we don't got same with, a lot of these other big titles, unless we're getting content or something to hype us up, like, we're not there yet. We gotta get hyped, before we can start mentioning it every time.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's move on to another one, Ryan. I'm actually more excited for this game than I am for Judas, and I have way more concerns that this game may not be as good as Judas. Like, I don't think Judas is going to fail. To be honest, I think it's going to be a very good game. There is a game that we have talked about. Honestly, if I scrubbed the archives, I want to say we probably brought this game up like 2 years ago when we saw the very first trailer for it. And that is a game called Arc Raiders.
Yes.
Now, way back in the day, we got a trailer for Arc Raiders and it looked too good to be true. It was a multiplayer game in a giant post-apocalyptic sci-fi open world where you were battling these absolutely gargantuan robots and you were trying to take them down so that you could then salvage equipment from them and stuff like that. And then we heard nothing for probably a year or so. And then we got a little teaser for Arc Raiders and we went, oh yeah, I forgot about this game. And then recently, we got an actual gameplay trailer. It's about a 6-minute trailer where they took gameplay footage from their most recent play test, which actually happened in October of 2024. And so then we went, oh my goodness, like, wait a minute, this game actually exists. Like, they're still going to release it.
It's real.
Yeah. Now, this game was already initially, I think, scheduled to come out in 2024, but it did get moved to a 2025 release date. Now, there is no set date.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have like Judas where it's saying March. They're just saying, hey, you know, we already delayed it once to 2025. This is the other game that I'm pretty sure is going to come out this year. If I had to pick 2 games to say, yes, these games, absolutely. 2025, sure. I think these are the 2 that I'm most confident in. But Arc Raiders is a like squad-based open world extraction game.
Yeah.
Which I love the idea. There is PvP, there's PvE. So you could, in theory, call this a PvEVP game, which historically don't do so well, but are also one of my favorite genres if it works.
Yeah.
Like a game called The Cycle that we don't talk about anymore because it's defunct and doesn't even exist anymore. But The Cycle was one of my favorite games, and Paul's and our friend groups, for a long time because it was just such a well done PvEVP game. That thrill of worrying about other people. Yeah. You know, while you're trying to play the game, really ups like the adrenaline factor and stuff like that. Have you played any of these style of games? I mean, I know people talk about like Escape from Tarkov. I don't know if you've played that or not, but these extraction shooters are kind of the new genre that they call it. But, you know, they tend to go a little bit further, I guess. And I don't know if you've got any experience with any of those.
I've played a little bit here and there, but when you give me like an open world where I got some PvE elements that I'm trying to complete these quests and these objectives. And then I also have that kind of in the back of my mind, hey, I know I could run into another squad at any moment to just blow up this mission. You know, there's something to that just kind of hits on all cylinders for me as well. I love kind of these crazy worlds. And I think probably one of the biggest things with these delays for these types is just making sure that everything works. Because when you create PvEVP, you got a lot of factors and it's open world. Like there's potentially a lot of bugs in the mix there. So hopefully they can iron all that out and we can get a nice clean release. But dude, I'm stoked. I love this type. I love this genre, and I'm always down, you know, for just open world madness.
I am very excited about the premise for Arc Raiders because I don't know the squad size. I'm going to assume it's 3 to 4 people, but this is the kind of game there where you can absolutely get lost in with your friends. It looks like it's insanely well done. It's beautiful. Check out the latest gameplay trailer because it's going to give you a very good idea of what this game is all about.
Looks so good.
But it's beautiful. The gunplay looks good. The PvP nature of like, you know, they're getting sniped at. They're also engaging some other players that are trying to get to some salvage. You get to see the scraps of one of these giant robots. So it's like, it looks like there's these amazing epic boss fights. You get this gear, you kind of try to take it back to, I guess, your base or your fort or something. And it just, that gameplay loop is insanely addictive if you can get into it. If the game plays well, obviously, and then especially if you have buddies to play with. I mean, there is some like Division DNA almost, and I know you're a big fan of the Division.
I love
where
Division.
I definitely got some vibes in that. Maybe it's just the kind of the third person shooting and stuff like that. But I loved the Division, and this looks like it's similar. It's not the Division, but it's similar in a lot of ways that really get my brain kind of internally giggling and being like, ooh, this game looks really good, man. Like it's got some serious potential.
Absolutely.
So, all right, we have a lot more games to talk about, but we're going to take a quick break and then we'll come right back and we are going to talk about quite possibly the game I am oddly most hyped for like ever.
Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. You'll get 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, enjoy access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection. And with the welcome offer of 150,000 points, your business can soar to all new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
Oh, such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 45% off select styles. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Boy, if that wasn't a teaser, Ryan, I don't know what was.
What a way to leave him on the hook, man.
I know, right? Okay. I'm going to start this one by saying there's really no evidence that this game is coming out in 2025.
Is this game real?
This game is real. Like that I know, but will it come out in 2025? I'm not sure. Now, the projections are that if it does, it's going to release late 2025, but most people think 2026. And no, I'm not talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. Okay?
That is coming out this year, duh.
Yeah, we'll see about that. You know, there was a game where I think it was announced at like Gamescom or one of these big events. I feel like it was early summer, something like that, where we got a trailer from Hello Games, who infamously made No Man's Sky, which released to terrible, terrible press and reviews and all that.
I was one of them.
Yep. And then we get this trailer out of the blue. I mean, no warning, no communications from the company that they were working on something else for a little game called Light No Fire. And dude, I can't begin to tell you the amount of excitement and hype that went through me when I watched this trailer and what I saw with you and your buddies exploring this fantasy world as a group, flying on dragons, looking around this amazing looking world. It looks like an absolutely gigantic planet. You're going on quests, you're finding gear, you're doing all this stuff. It looks like they took everything they learned from No Man's Sky over the last 10 years and then said, let's perfect it and put it into a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
And Light No Fire is that game. And I don't know why my brain is so like enamored of this game. Like watch the trailer for this. Now there's been no trailer since this announcement, but just go back and watch that trailer. Just Google Light No Fire trailer and you're going to see, dude, this game, when we get an actual release date, will probably catapult to the forefront of my hype meter. Just because, number one, it's right up my alley. It looks like this open world crafting survival multiplayer game. I know that they've learned their lessons on this.
Yes.
And just from the snippet that they showed, it looks incredibly well done and incredibly fun. What are your thoughts on Light No Fire, Ryan?
Dude, okay, so I am just equally as stoked as you are. So I think they really learned their lesson with No Man's Sky, because I was one of those day one releases. I got this game and I'm like, this just doesn't work. Like, what are we doing here?
This?
I'm like,
where's all the crazy dinosaurs walking around?
What is all this? I went to like 400 planets. I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? There's nothing here anywhere. Like, and I think what they've done to repair that and fix that shows that they've learned their lesson and they know what needs to be done and they know what people expect out of this type of a game. Because this is, I mean, procedurally generated and AI and everything you can imagine. All this craziness is all, within this world. And like you said, you have the crafting, you have the fantastical nature. You're riding dragons. You're going underwater. They have in the trailer, gameplay footage. You're swimming underground or under, in this river and lake and stuff. And it's just, you can see off in the distance these snow-capped mountains, and it's just a beautiful world that you can craft in, you can fight in, you can survive. You can explore. It's everything that I love in these types of games. They have it all. So I think they know what needs to be done. They know how to optimize it and make it perform well. And they know what people are looking for. So I think it's going to deliver, man. I want it. I want it now.
I've been pretty good about containing my hype for this game because we just don't have a lot of information. But I'm telling you, and I'm telling the listeners, when this game is officially announced as far as like, hey, it's coming late 2025, it will be at the very top of my like most anticipated. There's not many games that are going to compare to my excitement like Light No Fire will. The other thing with this is for people that may have not heard of this game or gone, well, yeah, but it's, if they just announced it, it's probably going to be another 3 or 4 years. They did confirm that this game's been in development for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like they didn't tell a soul about it, but when they released this trailer, they said we've been working on this for 5 years.
Which is how
it's
it
time
should
to
be
show
done.
the world.
That's how it should be done.
Legitimately, it should be. I don't want to hear about this game 5 years ago.
Yeah, like what's the point in
cool.
Elder Scrolls 6, talking to you, bud.
Oh, I hate that, man. I really don't like that trend. Just tell us 6 months beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's Light No Fire. Again, check out that trailer if you haven't. But man, I am an eternal optimist, Ryan. I know you are too, but it's like, I'm not so optimistic that this game's actually releasing this year, but there is a chance. And that's why we're bringing
cozy
it up.
Fall release,
that would be amazing, dude. Yeah. So, all right, Ryan, let's move on to I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this title before. It's something called Fable.
Fable.
Fable. That sounds kind of like mystical and magical or something.
Crazy and wild world and something, get a lot of choices you
kind
can
of
do.
Simple though. And yeah. Man, if you weren't around for the days of the Fable releasing on, what was it, Xbox? Initial Xbox or something like that. Fable broke the world. Yep. Okay. They came at this guy. Who made Fable? I can't remember that guy's name now. Peter Molyneux? Wasn't it Molyneux? I'm pretty sure that's the guy's name, if I remember, because he did Spore also. So I'm almost positive it's Peter Molyneux. He came out and he made these insane claims about, hey, this game's gonna, if you're mean to your wife and people in town, you'll grow horns, and the people in town will start to be scared of you, and so your actions will affect the world like no other game out there. And people went, well, this looks really cool, but is it really going to work that way? Did he pull it off, Ryan?
It did, and you were all right. It's Peter Molyneux, and then he definitely did. You could have multiple wives, right, or girlfriends? Because I
think you could.
I think I fooled around a little bit,
and you could just slaughter your wife and then marry somebody else.
I got in a lot of trouble, I think, in that game when I was 12 or 13, whatever, when I was playing it. But dude, what a innovative world that you could just explore, and it just was so different from anything else at the time that he wasn't kidding. It was just something totally different from anything else.
It really was. He pulled it off, and honestly, if you're playing a current game where your choices matter and characters react to those choices, or you find out about them later on in the game, you can thank Fable for a lot of that, because maybe a game did that to a small degree before Fable, but Fable is the game that put that into the mainstream and put it into the forefront of gaming to say, hey, people like it when their choices matter. And if you're evil, like, the world should treat you like you're evil, and the people around you should respond to you and stuff like that. So Fable comes out. There's Fable 1, 2, and I think there was a third Fable, if I remember right.
I think so.
And fine, they kind of tapered off a little bit. They weren't all these epic games. But then it's radio silence for, I don't know, a decade. Yeah. Right? And everybody just thought this is one of those franchises that's faded into obscurity. And then we get information about a new Fable game. This is not just a remake. It's not just a remaster. This is, hey, Fable is coming.
Fable's back, baby.
It's going to be one of the craziest games you've ever seen. Like, we know we innovated with the original Fable, and we're doing it again. Fable's back.
Yes.
And we all kind of watched this trailer that they gave us where people went, that's just a cinematic trailer. Like, there's a girl, she's hiding from a giant. The girl's ugly. There was a bunch of internet outrage about this ugly main character. Yeah. And, people were stupid online and all that stuff. And then they came out and they said, actually, there was some real gameplay in that trailer.
Oh,
and then they released another trailer and they said, well, fine, here's a gameplay trailer. And then people went, no, this is just that cinematic trailer. Like, you showed off some new stuff, but this is all just cinematics. And they went, whoa, no, it's not. This is the gameplay. And people went, there's no way.
Yeah.
This can't be gameplay.
Yeah, there's no way. How many times do we watch these trailers and it's all just cinematics? And you're like, okay, that's cool. What does actual game look like? I forget that one that we talked about where you're mixing the potions. Yeah, and you're mixing the potions, and your shields get splintered off and stuff, and it looks absolutely amazing. It would be tenfold next level if the gameplay was actually that way, but it never is. But when they come out and they say, somebody as trusted, as Fable comes out and says, hey, some of that was gameplay, just so you know. And it's like, oh, okay.
Well, then you're trying to figure out which part.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, this can't be it. And then you watch the whole trailer and you're like, where was the gameplay?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what would be great. Then they go, psych, it was all gameplay,
I mean, if that was all gameplay, then... Dude. Then I'm giving them credit right now because they did it. They blew the world's mind, just like they did with Fable when it came out. Like, this is mind-blowing type stuff. Well, then we haven't heard a darn thing.
Nope.
No more gameplay trailers. No more, can we figure out what's gameplay and what's not? No more arguing over the ugly protagonist and this giant and this world and all that. So they kind of went back to just their cave and development. Fable is expected in Q4, so at the end of 2025. I have a feeling that this game is going to get delayed a little bit longer. With a name like Fable, I'm not sure that they're going to try to rush this one. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this is one of those ones, especially because it's slated for the end of 2025, that this one might roll into 2026. But this is another one of those games where it's like, I'm trying to keep calm about this game because Fable was incredible, dude.
So good.
It was such a good game. I remember playing it with my wife, and she was like, don't be mean to that kid. And then I just kicked this kid down, man. And she's like, why would you do that? And I'm like, because I could.
Because I can. And then your horn grows a little bit there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your guy gets like the kind of pale skin, and the horns start growing and stuff. So Fable will absolutely jump up my hype meter immensely when we get a little bit more information about it. I think the key for Fable is that there has to be some kind of really neat innovation or something. If it looks like a game, like a trailer, but it's actual gameplay, I think that would be enough to blow people's minds. But there's a little bit more left to be seen on that, and I'm not confident that this one's coming out in 2025. So
yeah, I agree.
Now another game. Now people are going to be like, I've never heard of this game. I've never heard of this game before. And I'm going to tell people when we talked about it. When we found out about it, we talked about it because we thought it looked really neat. And that is what we do. And we like putting games on people's radars. Of course, people have heard of Fable and they've heard of Judas and Light of Fire and stuff like that. But here's a little game that maybe you haven't heard of that I know I am very excited for. And that is a game called Jump Ship.
Oh,
now,
dude.
Kind of a lame title. I'll be honest. I'm not real sure about the title on this game. Jump Ship. What do you do? Is this like hopscotch?
Yeah.
But Jump Ship is a co-op PvPvE game, which again, we love. But we got a little trailer and a snippet of this game where you and your buddies load up into this starship and you go flying around this planet. And you're trying to find these areas where there's probably like salvageable gear or treasure or something like that. At one point, they showed that the guy could get out and walk around the outside of the ship.
Yeah.
While the pilot is captaining the ship, and then other people are doing stuff. And so we just kind of went, dude, this looks incredible. Like, you're telling me like I can get out and walk around on the outside of the ship, and they show you shooting at enemy ships.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, I'm shooting my rocket gun while I'm standing on the outside of the ship. You're flying the ship around. You're trying to dodge getting shot down by missiles. Everybody's scrambling. Then you land on this planet. You all bail out and you go running off into these old ruins to now fight robot enemies. And you're looking for treasure that you're trying to find and get back with and stuff like that. And we just went, what is this game?
What is this? This looks awesome. Yeah, it's so cool. It's almost like a sea battle, but it's in the air, and you can move around freely. And then if you're battling someone else, but then if you're gonna go like attack a stronghold or something, you guys in the trailer, you can see them. They're like, I'm going to grab this gun, that gun. All right, let me grab this ammo box. And they go to kind of this stronghold where they have all their equipment. They all gear up, and then they just jetpack off their ship down onto the ground. And they're like, oh, we see enemies, they're guarding something. And they start working their way in there. So it's just such a cool kind of premise and environment to where they're just exploring and going into these zones and trying to get all the loot and bounty they can and whatever tech they can find and whatnot, and then get back to their ship. So you know how it is. Playing games with your buddies or your friends is just always a blast. So doing something in this setting and the way it looks so far, I'm super stoked about. So I don't know. I just get excited for so many games, and this is another one of them. But man, it looks good.
It looks really good. And I think I did say that it was PvEVP. It is just PvE.
Okay.
That was something I wanted to clarify is as of right now, I think we thought it was PvP because it looks like you're fighting other people.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it is just PvE. But to give you an example is at one point, you're being attacked by enemy ships that had been flying around and detected you down there. And so these enemy ships come in and the crew just jumps in the ship and takes off. And now you're dogfighting.
Yeah.
Like you're literally like dogfighting in the ship. And then one of the crew members is like, wait a minute. And he runs over to this locker and pulls out like a rocket launcher, goes on the exterior of the ship and starts aiming it at the other ships and just shoots one of the ships down.
So cool.
And like the team like lost their mind, and I was like, dude, this game looks like it is stupid fun. It looks very well done. Like this doesn't look like it's kind of half developed or something like that either. So Jump Ship to me looks like an absolutely like just great time with your buddies. It was supposed to release in 2024, and they came out and they said, listen, due to the hype and stuff, we really want to put our all into this game. So it has already been delayed to 2025. I would say I think this game is releasing in 2025. Yeah. And I think this one has one of those, like, I think this is like the sleeper chance to be way better than most people aren't even aware of this game, which is number one reason why we're talking about it right now. And we got hyped about it when we found out about it. Yeah. And I'm getting hyped again, all over again, talking about it right now. So make sure that you put Jump Ship on your radar, because I think this game's going to come out of the blue for a lot of people. And I think it's really going to be a lot of fun. The gameplay loop on this just looks stupid fun, dude.
Slaps, brother.
Yeah. So, all right, Ryan. Dune Awakening. I haven't played an MMO in forever. I know we keep saying,
we know why.
Man,
that's like a crackhead. I haven't tried crack in a long time.
I do got to be careful, man. It's one of those things where I know myself now. Maybe this was 30 years ago when I was playing EverQuest. Maybe not that long ago, but I was playing EverQuest every day, and yeah. So. But Dune Awakening has had our attention for a while. It is an MMO. It's set in the Dune universe. We've gotten snippets. We've gotten director, where they just sit and they talk about their game. And it's like, dude, show me gameplay. Show me. Don't just tell me, show me. And then they kind of released some more gameplay, and we went, yeah, that kind of looks very crafted and kind of like set where it's not the actual game. And then they kind of came out and said, no, here's some actual gameplay. But it still has just looked very... I don't know the word I'm looking for, but like not the gameplay, but just like very carefully presented to people. And people go like, I want to see what this game looks like as if I was just somebody playing it. Now, I will say that I am pretty darn excited for Dune Awakening. I don't think you're as excited as me, or what's your interest level on this game?
I don't know. I'm kind of, it almost looks to me just kind of like a Star Wars clone type game, open world kind of.
Whoa, and that's
not
bad?
Not that it's a bad thing, but it's just like it's just this dusty world, and like I don't know. I am excited. It looks cool. I want to see more. I want to see more to where
I am with you.
More to really kind of get me excited and get me drawn in a little bit from what I've seen. I think it'll be good. I think they got the financial backing and they got a lot behind it to make it good. That doesn't always, money does not always create a good game, but we'll see, man. I don't know. I'm not as hyped as you, but I just want to see more to get to that level. I'm just a little reserved is all.
I will say, even though I am excited, because, I'm easily excitable, but I do have some reservations. It is, how are you going to make this game like look good, and we've seen trailers and the graphics look pretty good, but like one of the big things is like, how much can you do with desert? And they've said, don't worry about that. We've got I think they're called Sieches, if I remember my Dune lore right, where it's the underground stuff. You know, you can be a Fremen, you can be a Harkonnen, you can kind of have these factions and stuff like that. I think for me, the combat and the vehicles in this game are what are really going to matter. I mean, yes, you know, you're going to have to find water and you can build a base. And I don't really care about base building. I'm not very good at it and all that stuff. But it's like, where's the action at? Like, where's the excitement for
finding water? That's worse than a stamina bar.
Dude, I saw an article, we didn't cover this, but I saw an article the other day that said that half of, I guess there's some early access playing going on or something like that, people that were invited or something. And they said that like half the people that are playing are dying from dehydration. And like, there's this scramble to try to just find like mouse blood because, you know, you can extract water from like blood, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like people are just hunting mice trying to live. And I'm like, this sounds horrible.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
That's
so
great.
There might need to be some adjustments to the survival difficulty of Dune Awakening, but that one is definitely on my radar. I'm like you. I want to see more. I want to see that this game's going to command my attention and it's going to be fun to play versus just something that you can grind.
Yeah.
You know, in that regard.
I prefer not to spend my time grinding mice.
Yeah, exactly. For water.
For water.
So Dune Awakening is set to release in early 2025. We don't have a date, but it is just projected as early 2020. So maybe we get some more information on this game soon. If they start to show off some actual non-curated gameplay and it really starts to look good, because I know there are faction wars and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Like this could jump up, but I'm with you. I really need to see a little bit more before I start saying like, I'm really hyped for this game.
Yeah, more than likely we're going to get like, it's going to be like a quarter two and we'll start getting stuff within like the next month, hopefully. And then it can kind of drum up that excitement and get everybody stoked, you know, to see what it's all about. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, next up on our list is a little game. I don't know that this is another one of those kind of people may not have heard of this game a whole lot and they wonder why we're bringing it up. It's a game called Silksong.
Said it again. Wait, Silksong.
Silksong. You know, I'm done with this Silksong. You can't tell me the name that shall not be named. I'm just going to name the name.
The game that shall not be named.
And I literally, because, you know, I have the projected release dates for all these games that we've talked about, you know, expected Q4, already delayed to 2025. And Silksong, I just put, who the heck knows? That's literally what I have out next to it because nobody knows. They won't tell anybody. You know, and they just, all they did is the last time we got any information, they said, we are working on this game. It is coming along very well, was the last news that we got on this. And so this is the big thing, right? We were hoping it was going to come out last year. I think it was me that drafted it in our draft for 2024. I know I drafted it in 2025 because that wasn't long ago. It's the sequel to Hollow Knight. Listen, if you haven't played Hollow Knight, number one, I'm not a huge Metroidvania fan. Like, I get it when people look at that and they say, look, Hollow Knight, I've heard a lot about it, but I don't like Metroidvanias. I don't like Metroidvanias either. I get lost. I forget what I was doing. They seem neat in theory, but then I really just kind of fizzle out quickly on those. Hollow Knight is a masterpiece, man.
It's so good.
I know you're a huge fan of Hollow Knight.
Big time. The graphics, the music, the scenery, the gameplay, like it's everything I want in a successor, like to the genre of Metroidvania, like to Castlevania, which is one of my favorite games. It's in my top 10. Grew up playing it, absolutely love it. I'm still playing it. My son got this little Game Boy emulator thing, and it's got PlayStation 1 games, and Castlevania's on it, Symphony of the Night, and I'm like, heck yeah, buddy. So I played it more than him. Don't tell him that. But yeah, it's such a good game, the Hollow Knight. But dude, Silksong was first announced February 14th, 2019.
That's ridiculous.
19, dude.
That's ridiculous.
So
it's been 6 years now.
This is my issue, is everybody being strung along. Like, if you want to take time, if you want to develop it, if you want to do all these things, that's fine. But there's a reason we keep saying you don't say Silksong because it's going to get delayed again. Because we don't know. We have no information. We don't have anything from anyone. And they're like, oh, we're working on it. We're working on it. That, honestly, in my opinion, there's no excuse. We're all consumers. We are eager for your product. communicate with us what you're going to do and when you kind of have a realistic timeline, and then we can go from there. But I think they like it this way. I think it's intentional, and I think it's kind of that no press is bad press.
Absolutely intentional. Yeah. And as annoying as it is, if I was a developer,
it's working.
If I was a developer making a game that I knew was going to have a ton of hype around it, like, okay, we can't mess this up.
Yeah.
We don't want to disappoint people. As much as I hate to admit it, I would take the exact same route. Like, dude, we're working on the game. We'll talk about it and we'll show it when it's ready and we feel comfortable with it. And until then, you guys can guess all you want, but we don't want to. We don't want to do it. We don't want to do the thing where we get people excited 5 years and then we do that. So it's like as annoying as it is, because I know we all want information on Silksong and we all want to see like parts of it and stuff. It's kind of like I totally am on the side of the developer on this, which I don't like, but I also understand where it's like, dude, just make the best game. And they've said we're gonna make the best game we can possibly make.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to love it, but you just have to give us the time to do it. So I'd like to think that Silksong is coming out this year. Like everybody was super hoping it would come out in 2024. And it's kind of like, okay, well it didn't. So it's gotta be 2025, man.
Dude, I think all these delays, it's going to be, almost 6 years, or more than 6 years, I guess. So like an October pre-Halloween spooky season release.
You just want to be right about your prediction.
I do want to be right. Honestly, I really do want to be right. I want to be right really bad.
Great.
Because it would be like the perfect scenario and setting for this game to where then everyone through the holiday season can play it. And I think the sales will be through the roof. I think it's the perfect timeline. I think it's finally to that point where people are like, okay, we've been waiting. We're about to hit that point where nobody cares anymore. And so I think it would be great, but gosh, who knows, man?
It's coming out this year, Ryan.
Yes.
It's going to come out this year.
October 1 this year.
I think they're going to announce it in June and it's going to come out in fall. And I think you're going to be right.
I sure
hope so. And then you're gonna hold that over. We're
absolutely.
Never gonna hear the end of you being right on that prediction.
Before the next Hollow comes out, I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Yeah, you guys remember when I called it perfectly?
Remember, dude?
Released.
I called it so good. I'm gonna call this one too. Just watch.
If you're right, I will absolutely give you credit, man. I'll build your ego up so much because I'll just be happy we had this game.
Me too.
All right, 2 lesser known ones. We're not going to spend much time on this because we need to wrap this episode up. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. The trailer for this game is bananas.
Y'all like killing zombies?
Dude, if you think Helldivers 2 looks good, replace the aliens and the enemies with zombie hordes and then give you armored vehicles to plow through them. That is what Toxic Commando looks like. This trailer is unbelievably just exciting to watch and looks phenomenal. And then it just went radio silent for a year. We got nothing, man. And to the point where I was like, they canceled the game.
Yeah. It's gone.
This game's not,
no more.
Well, it's not canceled. I don't know anything about this game. If it's anything like the trailer, then give it to me, put it in my veins. I can't wait to play this game.
Oh, dude, I'm with you right there on that one. It's just, gosh, I'm so sick of seeing stuff that I want and I'm so excited for, and I can't have it. It's like looking constantly at a food menu, but you can't order the food even though you really want it, and it's right there. Man. You can see the picture. You can see like a commercial where they make them look all great and fantastical, but you can't order it. You can't have it, and so that's what we feel like. We're just sitting here in the window, drooling on ourselves, waiting for these things that we just want so bad, and we're denied.
Yeah,
no game for you.
I did. The Toxic Commando Nazi?
Commando Nazi.
I'd like some of that Toxic Commando. No, none for you.
No game for you.
I will say that I did scour the internet, and I did find information that said that there were some closed technical tests and play tests for Toxic Commando that were happening. So this game is very much alive. As far as the development goes, I don't know if it's going to look anything like the trailer. If it does, oh baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby. But I'll believe it when I see it at this point. It was initially, the plan was to release in 2024. So this is another game where it got delayed. They did not specify the length of the delay, but it is the general thinking is because it was set for 2024, it's expected in 2025 at this point. I would love that as long as it looks like the trailer.
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly
honestly the thing. So, and then we're not going to spend any time on this one, but where winds meet. We were super hyped for this game. It looks incredible. We've talked about it before, and then we didn't hear anything. It was supposed to release last year. It didn't release last year, but then it released on PC, but only in China. What the heck, China? Why can't we play it?
China.
And then now the news is that, it released in PC in China only, but it's going to release for iOS and Android in I think this month.
Oh, geez.
But then I went, but my brain, because you even asked me before we started recording, you're like, wait, does that say iOS and Android? And I was like, yeah. That doesn't give me confidence in this game. So
let's
I don't know what
optimize
to
this
think.
for your phone real quick.
I don't know what to think about Where Winds Meet anymore. The expectation is that it will release for PC in the rest of the world sometime this year. But if you're releasing this on iOS and Android before your US or Europe or just the rest of the world release, I don't know, man. I don't know at this point.
tends to give you a weird feeling, and
it does.
Usually things happen a certain way. We've done this long enough to where we know kind of the patterns on success and how things kind of go through the pattern of a release. And this just doesn't seem to follow the normal kind of structure. So yeah, I'm a little concerned as well.
Yeah, this one's weird to me, man. My brain's kind of doing that, you're walking through and you see someone with really nice hair and you're like, oh, well, that's really, and then they turn around and it's just like Igor or something where you're like, oh, what was that? Like I wasn't expecting that. And I feel like that's Where Winds Meet. You're putting it out on iOS and Android? What the heck?
Listen, you didn't have to attack me live on the podcast, dude.
Okay.
Listen, you're jealous of my hair. I get it. My face is what it is. I can't control it, okay?
A little bit, From behind, you look like a model, Ryan.
I don't have Kardashian money, okay?
So, well, listen, that is it. Ryan, out of the games that we've talked about, which one are you most hyped for?
Oh, man, that's going to be hard. It's either Judas or, probably Fable. I would think. My
hype meter is highest for Light No Fire, but I don't think that that's actually going to release this year. So I am going to say Arc Raiders.
Okay.
I think it has the highest chance of flopping as well and being like, this really isn't that fun. It's a beautiful game.
It's got a high ceiling,
there's really
though.
Nothing new. It does have the highest ceiling, in my opinion. Judas, I am very confident is going to be incredible, but I think my hype meter, I want to play with the boys. I want to go on these raids and I want to take out fools and I want to lay traps and snipe them while they're trying to get the loot and stuff like that. So I think Light No Fire and Arc Raiders for me are the top two that I'm like, man, I can't wait to get my hands on this. So
heck yeah, dude.
All right, listen, we want to hear from you. If there's a game that we did not talk about that is like, guys, well, what about this game? Because it's supposed to come out this year, or maybe there's rumors that it might come out this year. Come talk to us. If you're listening on Spotify, you can leave a comment on the episode. Come join our Discord server. We talk about the episodes. We talk about games all the time. It's a fantastic community. It's family friendly. It's really just an awesome place that we really would love you to be a part of. If you are a gamer at heart and you're good to other people, man. We don't want toxic people. We hate that. There's no point in having that. So if you hate that as well, then come join us. The link is in the episode description. Follow us on social media at Video Gamers Pod. And you know what? If you want to go the extra mile, if it's on your heart, if you love this content, we've been making your days better and helping you through chores or the gym or something like that, think about helping us put this show out to the world because it only exists because of people that support the show, to be honest. So there's a lot of you out there, but it really does mean the world to us. It keeps this podcast rolling, and I know it means the world to everybody else that's listening that maybe doesn't have the means to help as well. And you can do that over at multiplayersquad.com. Ryan, I'd ask if you got plans tonight, but we're going to play Marvel Rivals again, baby.
Let's go. The moon haunts you.
I love that every time we record, there's a game that we can't wait to go play. That's how you know we're gamers, man.
Yes.
It's like, hey, we're putting in the work on the podcast. But I know we're going to play games together tonight too.
Absolutely.
Man, so.
And I know you preached it, and I'm just going to say it again. Like you said, game with the boys. We even just set up a role because so many people in the Discord are playing Rivals, and so many people are coming to join the Discord just because we talk about it and people playing Rivals. Like, we had to create a role for it, so everyone's always getting on. They're getting in the voice chat, and then there's other games people play together. So really, we're not kidding. Come out. We're active. We'll talk with you. We play games with people. So it's been a blast. We've had big group sessions, like community nights every weekend now. So yeah, not much more to say about that, but it's just I'm stoked. So let's go play.
Come see for yourself. Come see for yourself.
Yep.
That's the challenge, right?
Yep.
Click the link. Just come see for yourself.
Check it out. Lurk for a week.
Yeah.
See if you want to come in and hang out. And if not, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, absolutely. So awesome. Well, that is it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember to follow the podcast. If you're a new listener, click that plus button, click that subscribe button so you get our episodes the day that they release. And until next time, happy gaming.
See ya.